Just want to make a quick video on some of the upgrades, modifications I've made to the Losi Tenacity TT Pro. Bought this a couple months back. Nothing wrong with it stock. Of course, anybody in the hobby knows that I'm not going to leave a car stock for very long. So I'm going to go through some of the changes I made. I'm going to start probably with the latest one first, and maybe my most favorite. Got a new shell. You might notice this is unbreakable from the Russian dude. Went with the Proline Raptor. Obviously, he doesn't call it a Proline Raptor, but you can find this on eBay. Just search unbreakable shells on eBay. He's got all sorts of options, short course trucks, monster trucks. It won't crack. I have sent it pretty hard. Doesn't crack. Might bend, might deform. You can heat it up, bend it back. I'm trying to get vinyl to stick to it. But every time I bash it, I lost the windshield vinyl piece that I had on there. So might try Plasti Dip, mask it, and do some Plasti Dip to get some accent black on there and the bumpers. But it's good enough. It holds up really well. I absolutely destroyed the stock shell. I have Jonathan Brenthal's, maybe Jordan, I don't know. One of the two Brenthal brothers shells, the Falcon edition. Pretty beat up. Doesn't really like that much abuse. So yeah, I got the shell most recently. Before that, I was waiting for it to come off back order. There's a Exotech steering rack. It's bearing assembly instead of bushings. It's aluminum. It's very nice. The machining's great. It gets rid of a little bit of the slop in the steering. I still have some slop from some of these tie rods. Those bushings are wearing out. But it's really fast. And I paired that up with the new Savox servo because the stock Spectrum one, pretty lackluster, didn't have enough power. So the steering's pretty much laser straight now. I don't have many issues aside from the servo saber itself kind of backs off. I don't think I set it as tight as it should be. I don't really know. But you can kind of finger tighten it down here. But again, that's the Exotech. I think it's like 1930, or there's only one of them for the Tenacity. And I think you can make that work on the DB Pro too. I wouldn't see why not. And then the Savox 1256 TG. I think a lot of people get the 1258 TG. Don't ask me what the differences are. I know this was only $70 on Scamazon, so I got that. This goofy little blue case. I think stock, they got the Spectrum ABC receiver here directly exposed to all the muck. So cheap Amazon radio box. And I used that Spectrum ABC system on a two-wheel drive car instead, so I just went with the Dumbo RC XF4. It's more fun to be in complete control of a four-wheel drive car. I don't find the need for vehicle control on four-wheel drive, whereas I got some two-wheel drive that can really benefit from it. Obviously stock on the motor and ESC combo. It's the 130 amp Spectrum whatever. Don't know much about brushless motors. This is my first, but it's pretty fast. So elsewise, shock fluid just filled recently. I had lost a spring, so I had these rando springs kicking around that are for a completely different length, but we'll see. If I don't break anything, then they're doing their job. Going back in time, one of the first things I got was the RPM bumper. The stock bumper, it's the first thing I actually broke. It wasn't broken and unusable, but some people describe too much impact to the diff case because it kind of hits right up in here. So your front end collisions are just going to shock the hell out of the shock tower area, whereas the RPM is just kind of a piece of spring plastic. And then today it dawned on me that I can still mount the light bar using the stock bumper assembly that still has the gap underneath between the chassis and the diff case. So if you get this RPM bumper, it seems like you can still use your light bar if you mount it up. You kind of take apart the stock bumper. This thing just comes off. And just use this as a bracket to mount the light. I don't know if one's going to kind of impede the other impact. Only one way to find out is to send it. Crash it probably, because that's what I do. And see if anything breaks in here. I did break front end collision tire first. Snapped a hinge pin. Bent the hinge plate or hinge pin carriage. Whatever, I was going full speed. You know, tire first, didn't actually collide in the bumper, so the arms are pretty thick on these. They don't, I haven't broken one. I don't know how you could break one of these. I think something else would go first. Oh, I guess I should have taken the wheels off. So I did break a spindle carrier. If you see in here, the spindle carriers have been on back order for quite a while. So I found that there's no reason not to use an SCTE 2.0 or 3.0 flavor of this, a hot racing. They say these are designed for the Losi SCTE model, but I don't think there's much difference between that and this, especially when it comes to a part like that. So the spindles themselves, the hub carriers, they weren't on back order. So that's the Losi part that they offer as a hop up for this, that's, you know, originally composite. But then the carrier itself, I've had these on for a while, nothing breaking, works good. It's aluminum, I don't expect to break those. The rears, I definitely broke a composite. I replaced it with a composite because at the time I didn't get the aluminum. I've got the aluminum, I'm just, I guess, too lazy to install it. So these will be going in next. I guess I might wait till I break another composite one, if I do. But whatever, 40 bucks, yikes. Yeah, the skid plate, unfortunately, it's a separate SKU. It doesn't come with the bumper. They sell you this skid plate and a front piece, but I don't need the front piece because I have the bumper. I just needed something back here because this was getting pretty well dinged up, and so wasn't my chassis. A lot of these scuffs are from before I had these. Of course, a lot of them are from after I had those too. Still tend to bottom out. Bumper, springs, steering set. Like I said, guys, that's the one thing that was probably my favorite improvement on this truck, aside from the shell. I got a 100C 2S battery. I haven't run this thing 3S yet. Kind of afraid to. This is fast enough for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thing's a beast. It goes. Thanks for watching.